Set is from Monday Swimwear. I absolutely love this brand because 1, they support the big titty community.
The what community?
Whether you believe in the hive mind or not, this video contains audio of a woman reacting to genetically superior males, which some viewers may find upsetting. You will have to watch until the end to see if her words match her actions, her microaggressions, and her disgust for certain men. She is, after all, only human.
My name is Sasha. I was an escort for over 10 years, and today I'm here to address some of my most commonly asked questions when people find out that I used to be an escort. So we just gonna get into it. So the questions I get is, like, which race has the biggest penis size? Does size matter? What size do I prefer? Do I like circumcised or uncircumcised? In my experience, which race comes faster? Which race lasts longer? I get asked about my best experience with the client. Have I ever had a good experience with the client? And so we gonna get into it. I'm here today. I'm gonna spill the beans, babe. So the first question I'm gonna answer is, what size do I prefer? And do I like circumcised or uncircumcised? For me, the penis has to at least be over 7 inches. I prefer uncircumcised. It does it for me. It's a turn on for me for it to be like uncircumcised. And you pull the skin back and it's like a big mushroom head. I like two-tone penises where like it has a pink head and the dick is like a different color. That's just me. That's personally what I'm into. If you see me looking down, I'm looking down at my notes so I won't forget some of my most commonly asked questions. I don't like no skinny dick. You know, it can't be skinny. I like mine with some girth to it. If it got veins, that's a plus. If it got a curve, that's a plus. So we're going to get to the next question. The next question I'm going to answer. What was my best experience with a client? Have I ever had a good experience with a client? Has a client ever made me orgasm and made me feel good? I will say my best experience with a client, he was a celebrity, so I cannot name his name, but honey, I was infatuated with him. Like, the man was so fine. So I was already excited, and I mean, at the same time, I can't even believe, you know, like, he called me up and shit, and that, like, he was doing this, and I guess, like, he chose me, like, you know what I'm saying? That was my best experience with a client. I got paid and I slept with somebody I never would have imagined that I would get the chance to sleep with, and it was bomb. Like, I don't know, or maybe it was even more bomb because I was so excited, but it was bomb, and it was a moment that I will never forget. Also, as an escort, I'm commonly asked, like, which race has the biggest penis size? Does size matter? I think it's a stigma. I think it's definitely a stigma. The stigma is that black men, they have the biggest dicks, and if you ask me, I honestly think it's a lie. I think it's a lie. I escorted over 10 years. A few years over 10 years. We don't get into that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've ran into some white men with some super big dicks, yo. Like, during the session, with some of these white men, like, I could hardly deal with it. I would say white men might have some of the biggest dicks that I've experienced. Don't get me wrong. These black men, these niggas, they be, you know, some of them, they be having some bigs too, but like, man, a lot of them is average. You know, you'll be surprised. These white men, man, they be having some big dicks. Have I ever dealt with a big dick Hispanic? A few in between, baby. A few in between. Which race has the smallest penises in my experience? I would say Indians, Asians, although I have ran into like 2 big dick Asians before, believe it or not. But for the most part, Asian men are small, Indian men are small. Mexicans, they tend to be average. A lot of them are small too. But for the most part, in my experience, a lot of Mexican men are average. Now, what is average to me? Average, in between 5 to 7.5 inches. 6 to 7.5 inches to me is average. Not too wide, maybe even skinny. Nothing too special about it. You know, I call that kind of dick average. You know, a dick is average to me if, you know, it don't have nothing special. No curve, no, like special veins or, you know, not particularly a huge head or anything. Like, you know, that's all average. So which race has the biggest penis size? For the most part, in majority, if you ask me, I would say white men, because I've ran into more white men that for the most part have a larger dick than some of these niggas. I guess I would say black men would come in number 2. A lot of them, they be having, a lot of them, they do have big ones, but you'll be surprised how many of them don't. And it's like men is on the outside looking in, so y'all can only believe like what y'all heard. And like, I guess what y'all see on porn and stuff. With me, like I actually used to see penis after penis every day, you know? So if you ask me which race has the biggest penis size, I would say number 1, for the most part, white men. And number 2, black men, you know, Africans and stuff like that. So that's my take on it. We're going to get into the next question. Okay, so another question I get, which race comes faster? Which race lasts longer? Indians come the fastest. Indians is number 1 for coming the fastest. Number 2, I would say Mexicans. Hispanics come pretty quick. Hispanics can come pretty quick, although some of them, they can last. But for the most part, Hispanics come pretty quick. Asians. No, I think Asians is number 2. Number 1, Indian. Number 2, Asians. Number 3, Hispanics. Which race lasts longer? These niggas. Now, if we go back to the other question I told y'all, a lot of these white men, they have big dicks. But I think they come faster. They come faster. Some of them come faster. Some of them is too fucking much. But which race lasts longer? If you ask me, for the most part, I would say I've had some of my longer, most annoying, long ass sessions with these niggas.
Which leads us all to the question of the week. Does size matter?
I think it can. I mean, it can matter in terms of what he can do for you sexually. It can also matter in terms of the type of person he is. We all know when men get insecure, they act out in serious ways. So I'd rather you have an average sized penis and treat me with respect. I'm not going to deal with a little dick nigga disrespecting me.
Oh, okay.
And if you have a big penis also, you have to also be mindful of how that affects genitalia.
According to this article by Cosmic Me, we know that women being dissatisfied with their sex life can definitely lead to a lot of marital issues. And, you know, they recommend not to directly comment on his penis size because that can really hurt the male ego. It can breed bitterness within the relationship. So there's just other ways to work around it, other positions you can do, and just ways to say you have a little penis other than just saying you have a little penis. Like, you gotta, it's a sensitive topic. Or even in the reverse, if a penis is too big, the vagina is average 6 inches long. So you can't get all of that in there. But speaking of penis size, we may throw around big penis, small penis all the time, but statistically, we don't really even know what that means. So a micropenis is actually a penis that, while erect, is 2.8 inches or less. Okay. And there's also macrophallus, which is 8 inches or larger. This, my dears, is 8 inches. And this is 2.8. But, you know, the average size penis is somewhere in the middle between 4 to 7.
Men are also going to extremes to make their penises look bigger. They're using weight systems, stretching devices, vacuum pumps, silicone injections. Even some are undergoing penile enlargement surgery. But, you know, think about if we were talking about women. We'd be like, you don't have to do that, sis. But when we think about men with small penises, we're like, oh, God. Go ahead and do that. No. Right. You know what I'm saying?
With the tears.
Well, for even the sweatpants people, there are growers and there are showers.
Yes.
So you may not see the outline in the sweatpants if he's a grower.
Yeah. Okay. Maggie Cassie Ventura wrote, girls say that they appreciate the little things in life until you present them with a small penis.
Nah, sis.
I mean, I think that size matters to an extent. So like once you get down into the 2.8s and stuff like that, I'm just like, that's when size matters. If you're in the 6 range, have a good stroke game, and that will make up for it. Eric the writer wrote, women love to yell, stop body shaming, and then make fun of a dude for his penis size. Wah, wah.
No, that's fair.
Wah.
That's fair.
I think it's very, very
Don't make fun of everything we do.
This is one area we can get them back. But
Exactly.
if
Thank
that-
you.
There's
She's
nothing
ready
they
with
can do
me.
about it.
But here's the thing, even if there's a man who's not body shaming a woman, that doesn't mean he's gonna date a woman who he doesn't like her body.
Right.
So if we don't like a part of their body, we also have the right to not date them. So as always, we polled our audience and we asked them how many of your sexual partners have had penises that were larger than 8 inches, with 52% saying they've had a few, 42% saying none, and 6% saying most of them. Okay. We also asked, have you been intimate with someone whose erect penis was 4 inches or smaller? 69% said no, 31% said yes. It's a substantial amount who have. Bouncing off of that, pun intended, we asked which statement feels most true to you. With 88% saying, I've had better sex with guys with an average size penis, which is 4 to 7 inches erect. So it looks like you average guys out there, you're the fan favorite.
Exactly.
Okay?
I just think they put in more work.
Yeah. That's that. And last one, size aside, if you really like your partner but are sexually incompatible, would you rather, and 79% said be honest and have an uncomfortable conversation, and 21% said lie to save his ego in the relationship.
The worst, I've never had a bad experience.
Really?
Yeah, I think if you say a guy has trash, it's because you're trash. Like, I feel like if you're fire, you can never have a bad experience. You know, even like when a guy quick, like I don't care. Like for me, that's a compliment.
Some girls can take the bigger ones for the team. I think for me, the size don't matter, but the girth matters. Oh, girth. The girth, the thicker it is, the more pleasure.
So if thick but 3 inch.